बोले सोने हाल सासरी अकाल।
Sayan Sat Sri Akal, welcome, a very good evening and Happy New Year 2018. I hope it's all started very well. Tandrusti, khushiyan de rokta, te shanti, shanti, te trakkiyan da bakshe harik kar, harik samaj nu, te harik kaum nu, te harik desh nu. Makhan, as usual, welcoming all you youngsters. He's still looking great. He did not have a cold this winter. He was fine through the holiday season. I hope your children were on good food and reduced their sugar. So, going on a healthy concept. So, I've got my pie maker here, but I've also got two other concepts here. So, I'm trying to show you what you can do with food and creations and looking at foods that are in the market at this point. So, leaving my masterpieces here. One, I've got my pinto beans and sprouted dal. In this one, I'll be adding in ginger, garlic, the greens, adding in a creme fraiche to give it that creamy effect. So, a teaspoon of creme fraiche, adding in tomato puree, a bit of salsa sauce which is ready here, that is the tomatoes finely cut, 2 tablespoons. Give that a good mix, salt and chilies to add, and this is ready to go into my pie maker or my pie, which is going to be the short crust pastry. So adding salt, do remember my dal, I have sprouted dals, 4 different dals with peas which were boiled, actually pre-boiled for about 15 minutes in vegetable stock. So these are things that you can actually get with all the spices. Just a 1/4 teaspoon of garam masala. We'll add some green chilies and ginger, give it that kick. Chilies are actually good for your taste buds. So let's not westernize our food. Our food is so great. We are shying away from wonderful foods and trying to westernize our children's taste buds, getting them drifted away from the English, the national vocabulary Punjabi, and thinking ke bacche English bolni sikhege nahi. They will certainly learn. Handful of greens. And within seconds, I've got a wonderful mix. You can have a dal that you have sprouted or not sprouted, but I have parboiled it. And the second pie is going to be a potato mushroom leek pie. So, you know, everybody is quite fond of leeks in this season. A bit of cheese, cannot go without cheese in this one. It will give you that wonderful salty, stringy taste, 30% less fat here. So, I've got my pastry here rolled out, and I've got my pie cutter. Going to switch on my pie maker. Just going to glaze it a little bit with very little olive oil or rapeseed oil. And I've got my cutter here, so I'm going to use the bigger cutter and the top one will be the small, going closest so I can use all my pastry. Don't throw the rest of the pastry. You can do anything as creative to make another different kind of pie, and using the small one for the top. So this goes down. My pie maker is actually heating up. This is a wonderful investment I've done over 27 years ago. I don't think you get this stuff now. Wonderful, with the wonderful salad, with sauces that I've got wonderful 4 different sauces here. And the 5th one is soya bean sauce. I'm sure you can't go wrong with that. Fill it high as much as you can. And this is something you can even take to work. And dab it down. Take the top one, which is the smaller one, that goes very gently on top, ready to press down and you get the wonderful indentation of the pie. Shut my pie maker, close that, into my air fryer. I'll be using two different concepts here again. So I'll be rolling this one out. So I'm going to use my back of my bowl and make a cut. Let's go on to potato leek pie, right? Very popularly used or spoken about. Here I've got my leeks. So it's like doing a cucumber. Okay? And these are baby leeks. I don't go for large leeks. I find them too ripe, kind of stringy and harder to cook and eat as well. These are very small. That's the leek. So it's not a spring onion. That is actually a leek. It's got wonderful properties. So leek, potato and mushroom pie. Because they're going to be heating in the air fryer, I do not need to cook any of these ingredients. Finely chopped onions, just about a quarter of this. Mushrooms will be more finely chopped. The finer at least, then you know that the heat will penetrate and cook. Can hear the sizzling of my pie. This pie maker is so wonderful. Fruit pie, savory pie, mince pie. When I first came into this country 40 years ago and prior as well, I thought mince pie was mince meat, and I used to walk away and just say, ugh. In all these years, I've only tasted the mince pie once in my life, which is very widely eaten in December, January. I personally did not like it. For me, it was too sweet. So naive I was in that part of that ingredient. I thought mince pie was mince meat. Okay, here goes the potatoes. So just about 3 tablespoons. Can hear the sizzling, and a bit of hing to add because it's a leek, so it's a bit of a damp vegetable, can give gas. Let's have a peekaboo in my pie maker. Look at that, beautiful. Leave that to become crisp. Here goes the sauces now. Greens, chives, parsley, dhania has to go in there. Salt, ginger, chilies, garlic. We won't add, but we'll add garlic salt. So half a teaspoon of garlic. Chilies to give it that bit kick. 1 teaspoon of tomato puree. Here goes now all the other dry ingredients to add up to season this. A quarter teaspoon of garam masala, quarter of salt. I've got my garlic salt. Hence adding quarter teaspoon only of pink salt. Give that a good mix and actually a mash down. And this will be a wonderful melt down with the cheese. Adding in 1 tablespoon of creme fraiche heaped to give it that wonderful creamy taste with the cheese. And cheese. For all the cheese lovers, anybody with cholesterol issues, don't add the cheese. The creme fraiche can also be about 30% less fat. So going on to, I think, 106 shows and counting. Food has always been of good creations from my side, and I hope that across the globe people have actually valued and also copied. So ready to go. Holding this in here, it's been dry dusted. I will use some more dusting flour, and probably also on this one. And then just using the filling on 1/2 side of my pie and closing the other side. Must keep an eye on our pie here. Beautiful brown and golden. So all I have to do is close this down. If you think it's a bit much, again, this is another gadget I've had for over 25 years. Close it, and the more you press, the better indentation you're going to get of, and that will then go into the air fryer. And there we are. And that goes into an air fryer at 175 degrees, preheating that whilst we get the second pie ready, and the two pies will go hand in hand. This is a mini pie. Dry dust it with flour, and that goes into my pie maker. A small little cutie you can make. My idea is just to give you fine examples. Yours could be you want to make 20, you can make 20. I'm actually showing you 3 different concepts. So just nip it down, get the indentation, open it, and there we are. So this is something that people really crave for, to see, oh, that's a lovely design, and you buy this stuff from pie shops which have so much saturated fat, and we've used 30% less cheese, 30% less creme fraiche, and that will go into the air fryer. Let's have a look at what's happening here. That looks amazing. So it's ready to come out. So after the short break, I'll plate this one and we'll show you the plating of the other 2 pies, and going on to my cake, which is an amazing walnut cake, putting on the air fryer. 175. This virtually, folks, should be done in about 6 minutes. Stay tuned into the second half of my cook show.
एक सौ 6 ਦੇਸ਼ਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੇਖੇ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਅਕਾਲ ਚੈਨਲ ਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਕੋਨੇ ਤੋਂ ਲਾਈਵ ਜਾਂ ਡੀ ਲਾਈਵ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਪੂਰੀ ਟੈਕਨੋਲੋਜੀ ਮੌਜੂਦ ਹੈ। ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਹਾਈ ਡੈਫੀਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਤੇ ਕਵਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਵੇਗਾ। ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦੇ ਪੈਗਾਮ ਨੂੰ ਘਰ ਘਰ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਉਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤਾਂ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਰਿਕਾਰਡ ਕਰਵਾਉਣ ਲਈ ਸੰਪਰਕ ਕਰੋ 077-027-48906 ਤੇ।
ਅਕਾਲ ਚੈਨਲ ਨੂੰ ਸਬਸਕ੍ਰਾਈਬ ਕਰੋ। ਨਵੀਂ ਵੀਡੀਓਜ਼ ਦੀ ਨੋਟੀਫਿਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਬੈਲ ਆਈਕਨ ਨੂੰ ਕਲਿੱਕ ਕਰਨਾ ਨਾ ਭੁੱਲਣਾ।
Sprouted dals of all sorts, pre-sprouted 4 to 5 days prior. Dals of your choice. I used moat dal, moong dal, masoor dal, and also kala chana. Sprout that 4 to 5 days prior in your sprouter, and boil the dal in a quarter cube of vegetable stock with double amount of water on low heat till it's gently softened. Don't overcook. Have short crust pastry ready or ready-made rolled out pastry, your option. The mix in that was half a cup of small cup of the beans and the dal sprouted. Add in a small handful of cheese and sour creme fraiche 30% with ginger, garlic, chilies, mixed herbs, seasonings of salt, garam masala, dry herbs and fresh herbs of coriander and parsley and chives. Give that a good mix with a handful of 30% less fat cheddar cheese. Mix all that up. I used my pie maker, made the top ring and the bottom ring, placed the bigger ring in the base, dropped in a generous helping of the filling, closed and sealed, and leave the pie maker to cook in about 5 to 6 minutes. A leek potato pie, which was done with my hand pie maker. Preheat your air fryer at 175 degrees. Have your ring cutter ready for the size of your pastry or hand make it. The filling is as follows. It is finely chopped, about half a leek, very finely chopped potato, mushrooms, ginger, salt, garam masala, chilies, pinch of hing with seasoning, and garnishing it with coriander, parsley and chives, with a handful of cheese and creme fraiche. 1 tablespoon. Give that a quick mix and put it in the bigger fry and the small. Bake that in an air fryer for about 8 minutes and crispy till to your desire. Serve with a salad and tomatoes. And I have got 5 different sauces. First one was the edamame bean sauce, the avocado sauce, salsa sauce, sour cream sauce, and sour cream with cheese. Next one was the organic wheat flour yogurt cake. The ingredients are as follows. Prepare dish of about 7 inches, line it, 1 cup of organic wheat flour, half a teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, half a cup of coconut sugar, your option to go for demerara or castor sugar, a 1/4 cup of softened butter, half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 1 heaped tablespoon of egg-free mix. Mix this firmly first with all the dry ingredients, then add the wet ingredients and about half a cup of sour cream or very good quality yogurt. Add in about 6 tablespoons of good almond milk to make the consistency runny. Drop in only half the mix in the tray. The other in the middle, you need 1/4 cup of coconut sugar, 3/4 cup of walnuts crushed. Add in half a teaspoon of cinnamon powder. Mix that, add only half the mix in the middle. The remainder of the batter needs to go on the top, and finally the sugar and the walnut mix with cinnamon is put at the top with maybe a dashing of almonds in the middle. Bake that in an air fryer at 175 degrees for about 11 minutes. If it is sour cream, then the time would be reduced by about 3 minutes. I then dressed it up with melted cooking chocolate, garnished that and decorated that with flaked almonds and with wonderful red currants. Ji haan, countdown to 1 second left and always waiting for that very welcoming feast in the air fryer. 2 different concepts looking fabulous. Wow. And my very crispy, my star pie, which is so beautiful. And if you look at the bottom, all crispy and browned. So I hope you will enjoy this, savor this. 3 different concepts of pie. Potato leek pie, never made it. Mixed bean and moong dal and mot dal pie. Adding in the creme fraiche and the cheese. Let me now take you to a wonderful, wonderful organic wheat cake. So beautiful, so delicious. I've already tried it, and that trial was very successful in my air fryer. Stay tuned. Ji haan, got the pies ready here. It's how you dress it on the plate. What do you serve this with? A wonderful salad. All this year of 2017 and starting on 2018, I may be creating more salads, but I've made so many different concepts of salads, and I'm serving that with sour cream, chives, and then I've got cheese and yogurt. I've got the soya bean sauce, I've got a salsa sauce, and I've got an avocado blend with garlic and lemon and all the spices. Cannot go wrong with so many different concepts. All these are good sauces, not what you place as a tomato ketchup. Going on to a wonderful organic wheat yogurt eggless cake. Welcome to another cook show. Never done this. I've got my baking tray ready. Just going to brush a little bit of oil on the sides. Can use butter. That will go into my air fryer magically, done in about 8 minutes. I was shocked. So I've got my bowl mixer here. Dry ingredients all going in first. A cup of organic wheat, less than half a cup of very good coconut sugar. I'm not using any other sugar. About a tablespoon and half of coconut, desiccated coconut. In this we'll be using softened butter, about half a cup, so this is about good enough amount to go in the cake. Unsalted butter. I've got my egg-free mix ready here. I'll be adding in my soda bicarbonate and baking powder. Adding more linseed to this, which is golden linseed. Again, ulsi, and don't know if you've ever heard ulsi the cake, but gives a wonderful body to the whole thing. Give that a good mix and get all the butter mixed up together. Can do it by hand, and in this we'll be adding yogurt, half a pot of very good quality yogurt. I need to get the butter mixed up first, because if we add the yogurt, the butter might not mix up well. So this is like coming like breadcrumb mix, Hana. But what is going in the middle, that's a great mystery. We shall talk about that. This is not just a cake as a dollop, is something most delicious, brain food, nuts going in there, which I think you can see here. Adding in about half a cup of yogurt. If I need a tablespoon or more, I might add some more. In go in soda bicarbonate and baking powder, quarter teaspoon of each. Vanilla essence. Do not use, this is the very good bean paste. Don't use just flavors that do nothing. And give that a good mix now. I'm sure everybody's got good wheat, I hope, at home. Don't bargain for so much in the market there now that it's deceiving mankind. So if you can see, the butter is beginning to break through. Make sure the butter is not cold. About 3 tablespoons of good quality unsweetened almond milk. As it will be hot, we might not be able to share the cutting, but at least we need to let it set, and now start giving it a good mix. The smell is so different. We'll accommodate about 6 tablespoons of milk, having used yogurt. The same concept can be used with sour cream, half a pot of sour cream. Right, give this a good mix. Half of this mix will go into my baking tray and spread it out. Keeping the other half as a topping. Now, what's the secret of this cake being superfood cake? I've got a bowl of a small cup of almonds, crush them down. I've got this bowl measured for walnuts. The bite is what is going to make this cake of the walnuts so beautiful. So this will go in the middle, but I've got a mix here. All the walnuts in here. I've got my quarter cup of coconut sugar. That goes in here. Cinnamon. This is the biggest thing about this cake, is about a good half teaspoon of cinnamon. I also made this cake with coffee and cinnamon. It was amazing. Give that a good mix. Now this mix actually goes in the middle and then some on the top. Get in some more walnuts. If you want even more, you can add some more. You want some more nuts, you can add them. The rest of this mix will go on top. And this will be at 175 degrees in my air fryer, and the rest of the topping goes on top. Getting my air fryer ready. And then we are ready after about 8 minutes. Now, pardon me, need to take my hands because we need to get an even mix around. I'm putting some almonds. Right, air fryer on at 175 degrees. Put that on preheat. So that's going for at 175 degrees for about 7 to 8 minutes. We'll have a look at the cake and how well it's risen, and then take you into the plating section. Join me after the cake is ready and baked to be displayed. Ji haan, I actually had to add another 7 minutes to this baking time. So being a yogurt cake, it's heavier. Sour cream would be different, but that looks so wonderful. Shut that down. That still needs cooling. Plate down and over again. I've got my chocolate here, mix, which is piping hot, which is melted cooking chocolate. Trying to hold a hot glass and layer it all over. Spread it over to go not too much on the side. Give it a good spread. Start doing the swirls to make it look very professional. Taking almonds, flaked almonds, and then just couldn't have gone wrong to make such a wonderful cake. Super brain food with walnuts, almonds, organic wheat, good quality yogurt, and finally cannot go wrong by having wonderful wreath of cherries. For some of you who have never tasted cherries, you don't know what you have missed. Again, a star bake of this cook show of 2018. I hope you've enjoyed it. I certainly did, and did 106 cook shows and counting, folks. You do need a lot of energy. Need to thank you guys for your support, your love and your satkar, and forever sending wonderful comments. And also sometimes when we have little hiccups, it's nice to know from you guys what we need to do to make a perfect cook show. Take care of yourself and each other. God bless you. Happy cooking and welcome to 2018 in Desi Wellness Kitchen. Goodbye. Sat Sri Akaal.
ਅਕਾਲ ਚੈਨਲ ਨੂੰ ਸਬਸਕ੍ਰਾਈਬ ਕਰੋ। ਨਵੀਂ ਵੀਡੀਓਜ਼ ਦੀ ਨੋਟੀਫਿਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਬੈਲ ਆਈਕਨ ਨੂੰ ਕਲਿੱਕ ਕਰਨਾ ਨਾ ਭੁੱਲਣਾ।